Ladies and gentlemen, about 2 years ago, I was speaking with him and talking about some of the things as we were coming out of the pandemic. And a few weeks ago, he was on News Nation and he's been interviewed all over in different various forums. And now he's reached the bottom of the barrel. He is talking to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Ernie Hasse of Ernie Hasse and Signature Sound. Congratulations. Welcome back from Amsterdam, by the way.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's great to be with you again.
It was amazing to see just over the 2 years since we've had that last interview. You've done a number of things. You've put out a couple different albums. You've worked on a number of projects. There's no dust settling on you because you're constantly moving and shaking, headline making. But talk to me, if you could, for a second. You were live in Amsterdam. You got this great new CD out, orchestra. I mean, the whole nine yards.
Yeah. So we were supposed to have been in Amsterdam in May of 2020. So we know how that worked out.
Yes.
So we were able to finally make that date up, and that fell on 2023, which is our 20th anniversary as a group, a musical group, Ernie Hasse Signature Sound. So I started, of course, in 2003, and so it wasn't lost on me that I had to take advantage of this. You know, it wouldn't have happened any other way. So we picked like the 10, 11 most notable songs that the people have told us these are the songs that connected us to the Lord and brought our families to your concert and stuff like that. And then not just going over and rehashing the same song, we wanted to give it a facelift, so to speak. And so our producer, Wayne Hahn, went in and hired a symphony and then put a musical bed underneath it that just gave it a whole new life and gave me some overtures to talk over to get into the song in between the song. It was 20 years in the making, my life and my career and my songwriting and our performing.
It's amazing you started Signature Sound at the age of 12. So you're almost, and I'm only bringing this up because you talked about it on a recent interview. You're almost 60 years old. Okay. People are surprised by that because you still have such a great command of your craft, your voice and everything, and that can really start to, as you age, you've done a lot. Not to mention that, and I didn't know this, when you were a child, you came down with, it was very scary, a case of bacterial meningitis, or is that what I'm the right
I guess they called it viral meningitis.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for your kind words. I work hard. I've always stressed about being able to sing tenor in a quartet, even when I was 25. So that's always been a burden that I've carried. But I try to take care of my body and try to take care of my mind and my voice and all those things. And I just want to be effective. You know, I don't want to take what God has given me and burn it out and not make it to the finish line. So that's my motivation there. As the story goes, and I made sure before that Newsmax interview that I got the story correct. My mom said, you got the call that nobody wants as a parent. You know, come to the nurse's office. Ernie's not himself. And so she said, when I got there, you were just out of it and in such pain. And back then, you know, we didn't have a bus route, so we had to walk to school about, 3/4 of a mile both ways. And so I had to walk home. She said I was throwing up the whole way. We only had one car, so my dad was at work. She called my grandparents. They took me to the emergency room. They did like 2 spinal taps and gave them the information that this was really, really serious. My mom and dad, they kind of like dedicated me to the Lord. I think a lot of parents do that. And they don't, how can you know what that really means? They had kind of walked away from the Lord. So I don't think the Lord actually threatens people's babies with life or death to get your attention, but their attention was grabbed poignantly at that time. And they said, whatever you want us to do, we'll do. Man, just anything happened to our baby. And I came out of it. Doctors told them there's going to be some side effects. And they laugh at me and say, your craziness is a side effect of it, but just got a little hearing loss right here. And that's about it.
Hey, listen, I've been playing drums for many years. I've got the hearing loss too. Your side effect has been the incredible management of the hair. I mean, that's as I've done more and more TV over the past couple of years, my wife said, could you please, have some dignity and, maybe not. So I've grown up a little bit, Ernie. I'm trying so hard, but
don't do it. Don't grow up too much, man.
I try not to. No, I try not to. You've got a wonderful Christmas tour coming up.
Yes, sir.
And before we dive into the facts of it, I just want to get a couple quick questions out of the way. Rapid fire. You give me thumbs up, thumbs down, yay or nay. These songs are making the cut as far as the set list, because I'm sure that's all part of it and everything. Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey.
Oh man, I got to put that one in.
All right, if you could. Santa Baby.
Santa Baby. Probably not.
Okay. Elmo and Patsy's Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
That one makes me cry.
It's a sad one.
Sing. I can't sing that one.
No, okay. Anything from Dr. Demento's Christmas CD? No, nothing?
Who's Dr. Demento?
Something all the nerds like myself listened to as a kid. But you've got this Christmas tour coming up. Talk about that, because this is if you can't go see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, it's better to go see Ernie Hasse and Signature Sound, in my own opinion.
Come on. Yes, absolutely. 2019, December 2019, we released A Jazzy Little Christmas. We got to go out just one season with that, and so it's new to us. It's still new. And so we're so proud of that record, and we're touring it, and we're going to be in about 15 cities. We're actually going to the West Coast for the first time since the pandemic, and we're taking our Christmas tour out there. But all of those dates are on our website at erniehasse.com.
Yeah, I saw all the dates there, and you can obviously, tickets are available too. You can, the website is very, it's very comprehensive. There's a lot of information there where you can get all that information. Of course, you'll be touring with Doug Anderson, Dustin Doyle, Paul Harkey, the King of the Beard, and you've got an amazing band, Tyler Vestal, which, by the way, the Vestal name in gospel music, that's royalty. There's that other name, Gaither or whatever, I don't know. Wes Jones on bass and Drew Goldman on drums. That's quite you guys have quite a sound. You've locked it in over the years. That's going to be fun and exciting.
It is. And everybody has a different level of community, so to speak, when it comes to Christmas time. So in these days that we live in, the dark times that we live in, it's good to be able to come somewhere where 3 generations can get together and have a great time and leave all that other noise away for a while. And then also on our Christmas tour, we're bringing out a saxophonist, crazy musician. His name is Udi El Vega. He's from Tijuana, Mexico. Now
very cool.
Now lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, of all places. And but he's an amazing saxophonist. So he'll open the show and then join us on some certain numbers. So it's a great show. And let me just say this: we just finished talking about shows. We just finished performing on the 45th annual GMA Dove Awards show.
I was going to bring that up. Ernie, I've got my notes here, baby. I got my notes right here, because you guys, the album and the feeling, everything that happened during the pandemic with the Keep On Keeping On, that took home the Dove Award for Southern Gospel Album of the Year. Congratulations. That's huge. Okay. That is insane. That's better than going double myrrh or double frankincense in the recording industry, which is amazing. That is something special.
Well, especially coming out of a season where we weren't touring, and and everybody had stopped recording. You couldn't record. And so I piecemealed it as far as, okay, number one, we're going to record music. Why? Because when we come back, we're going to have something new to say. We got to speak to people. And so you realize at that time, we just did like I'm doing right now. We sat in our living room and recorded songs that we were writing. And Keep On Keeping On was the song that kind of just started that whole online virtual concerts. And then for it a year later to say, and the winner of the Dove Award for Album of the Year, we're like, didn't see that coming. So yeah, so that song actually is our motto. Keep it on.
Yeah, no, and I know we talked about this the last time, but literally, I think what you did with your group and the guys and everything, and taking the steps to, because you had shared with me before about starting a TV show or getting something into more of the video side of things, and that, I think, with the Friday night sing and just you putting your heart and soul and the guys and of course your lovely wife Lisa, who did the lovely decorating behind you there. My wife hasn't touched this, that's why it looks like a giant mess behind me. But the jukebox is from Uncle Tony's Pizza and Pasta Restaurant. Hey, it's heavy. I will maintain that you actually saved people's lives during that, because the monotony and just the not knowing and everything, you gave people something different to go to, especially in that, 45, 50 plus demographic, which is so big on social media. That's kind of something I do. That was such a huge thing. And obviously my grandmother, who is still a massive fan, she loved it as well. And just all her friends, like, it was just such great, wholesome content. It was really something special.
Well, number one, thank you for saying that and reaffirming that. And when we were in Amsterdam, actually, we did 4 dates. We did Belfast, Northern Ireland, Glasgow, Scotland, Espelkamp, Germany, and then we did the live show in Amsterdam. But every night in the lobby, half a world away, people are like, in their broken English, "Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, brother Ernie, for Friday night singing." And it broke my heart. It
Sure.
really did. And so we were just doing what we felt like we should do, the prompting of the Spirit. And the thing is about promptings, you never know if you're following the right path. But you'd be happy to know, your grandmother might be happy to know, that last week we finished filming on season 3 of Friday Night Sing. That will start airing at the end of January of next year. And it's the same spirit, same everything, except we're not just using our cell phones now. We got kind of microphones like you got, and got better cameras, but the same heart, same soul, same conversations.
It's not going to look like an episode of the Brady Bunch intro with all the boxes. It's a beautiful thing. You also have something that caught my eye on your website. You have a New England to Canada cruise coming up. That is something people need to plan for. You're going to be leaving out of Boston, Massachusetts, going right up through Maine, up to Canada in September of 2024. Tickets are available now. I am going to claim to be able to bunk with Doug Anderson, to be honest with you, if possible. If he's, got an extra bunk in his room, I'm down for that. But that's going to be
he wouldn't mind. I'm sure he and his wife would not mind one bit.
That's right. Who's
I don't even have to ask permission.
That's right. It's hey, I'm here. Hello. That's going to be exciting. Talk about how that came about, because it's actually quite an all-star lineup.
Yeah, so every once in a while we get to do those kind of things, and our friend Landon Bean, who owns IMC Concerts and Tours, invited us to be a part of this. So we can't wait. That's one cruise we've never been on. We've done the Caribbean, we've done Alaska, but we're looking forward to that, especially in the beginning of the fall season, to see all the different colors. So yeah, if you guys want to know more about that, of course, go to our website, erniehasse.com. But let's revisit what we kind of got away from, our performance on the Dove Awards.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, Ernie, I don't know if I've told you this before. I've ADHD, so thank you for being the strength.
Well, the reason it's so important to me, and when we performed on there before, it's a big deal because everybody, that's the Grammy equivalent of the Christian.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal. It was our 20th anniversary, of course, and would you like to perform? Yes. If you could collaborate with anybody, who would you want to collaborate? Automatically your mind starts thinking, well, for me, and in here, I'm a huge fan of Take Six. Their music, their vocal jazz, and all the spirituals that they do. Don't know them personally, but hey, it doesn't hurt to ask. We asked, they said, absolutely. So on that magical night, we had the largest set on the night. We had a 5-minute segment, and it was just the battle of the bands. Take Six, Six Sound, Take Six, Six Sound. And then all of a sudden, boom, we came together on Getaway Jordan. And I would encourage everybody to go to my YouTube channel and watch that performance. It is, I have been told by people in the industry that was one of the best performances of the night.
It absolutely is. And people should be going to subscribe to your YouTube channel as well, because I saw recently you also had a little bit of behind the scenes from last year's Christmas tour, and you're just getting people back into it and everything to see a little bit, which was fun. And that'll get people into the spirit of the upcoming Christmas tour. But you also just have so much great content back there, and just put on the playlist, let it ride, baby, let it ride. It's a beautiful thing. So
those YouTube shorts and Facebook, Instagram Reels, those are really big right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you'll be alerted when every new content drops. We're always making new content.
Speaking of new content, will you be doing a Taylor Swift-esque stage dive during the Christmas show? Is there one of those things where you kind of walk and dive into the stage like into the water?
No, because our front row is lined up with scooters and walkers.
Oh, okay. No,
It would, it would hurt really bad to jump on one of those.
that would require the medical encyclopedia, I believe, right there. So it's
We just played Dollywood, so that's what the first thing that came to my mind is everybody came in there, beep, 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 parked them right there on the front. And I'm like, 20 years ago, we used to go jogging a lot, me and Doug especially. Now, 20 years ago, 20 years later, we think about it a lot.
yeah.
And now looking at all of these scooters down here, we're like, man, we might make an investment now.
That might be well worth it indeed. So then lastly, what is on the horizon for you? I know you've been working and starting to put together your memoirs, which is such an important thing to do, I think, for everybody, but especially you, because you talk about how at 8 years old, what you went through and just the journey and really the all-stars that you have spent time with, performed with, and the careers that you've launched just by, inspiring others. That's something very special.
I'm glad you said that because that was probably not on my bucket list of things to do. I went and spent 3 days, like a little spiritual retreat in Colorado Springs with Jerry Jenkins, who wrote all the Left Behind series and whose son Dallas is doing all of the Chosen TV show. So he's a mentor, and we sat and we talked about it. And he came out of that meeting. He said, if I didn't think there was something here, I'd be enough of a friend to say, to stick to your music. I really think there's something here. And so we're doing a deep dive on how that's going to work and how that's going to flesh out. Everything I have done in the past year to promote the Live in Amsterdam recording, 20th anniversary celebration. I told my wife, Lisa, and said nothing negative about my heritage, but for the first time ever, I feel like I've evolved into a person that people want to hear these stories and life lessons. And how did you learn this? How did you stay here? So it's like they're wanting more than just a story. They're wanting the wisdom behind the story. So I'm going to pray this thing through. I'm working on it. I've been working night and day on notes and stuff like that. And when it's ready, it's going to come out and hopefully be life-giving. Then I'll have to, the hard part is going to be, how do you share the dark side of your life that God used to make you who you were? It's not all a bed of roses.
Sure.
And so that's the challenges. I don't want to get in the weeds too much, but I want to share how his grace has brought me safely thus far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's going to be quite a powerful tool. And you never know. I think something like that too will also inspire many folks like yourself who are in the industry, who have had a legacy career. I know you don't. I heard you're not a fan of that word legacy when talking about yourself, but you have had a legacy. You will be leaving behind quite a legacy. And I think that's just going to translate so well because, others who may have been considering it, but they, much like your friend to say, look, you got to do this. It's so hard sometimes. Like, oh, maybe I should, should I write a book? You almost feel like it's too self-serving, but really that's the story. That's the message that needs to come out.
Well, because of that memoir book that's coming out, it's causing me to write songs that are different than I've ever written before. So it's just like all these things are given way to each other. So it feels right, number one. And number two, and when you go to the Live in Amsterdam recording, you listen to what I say right before the song, Jesus Changed Everything. And how God brought my mom and dad together and how all of that transpired. It wasn't a victorious story at first, but God made it victorious. And so I call those redemption stories. Okay. And I have a ton of redemption stories. And the thing is, if you read, if they would ever let me write Revelations for Dummies, because that book is so hard to understand, but it would just be really simple, one page. In the end, Jesus wins. Make sure you're on Jesus. Yeah,
that's it.
It says in there towards the end, they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. So how many people there are in the world? That's how many testimonies there are of God's redemption. You got to share that story. So that's why I'm going to share mine.
That is incredible. All right. So we've got the holiday tour coming up. No stage diving like Taylor Swift. That's fine. We've worked on the Christmas tunes, the playlist there, the Dove Award, all that other stuff. You mentioned that you'll have a saxophonist coming.
Uh-oh.
Do you have room for an accordion player by chance?
My favorite instrument of all time.
The Devil's Backpack, as it's known. Yes. So if you want it, let me know. I'll be there. Without bells on, because those can give away movement and stuff. Trust me. But it's if you need it, it's fine. If you want to fill the theater, though, leave this in Rhode Island.
Well, when you watch the Friday Night Sing, how many times do I have an accordion?
It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful instrument. The first time, as you know, we adopted my daughter. The first time I brought this out when she was with us for foster care, she freaked. She gone. So this is actually one of the times that I have it. She's coming home from school now, so she'll be seeing this here. So we'll see if we trigger up any kind of memories. And we're also supposed to go take family photos this afternoon on the beach, because that's what everybody does in New England. Whatever. It's all good. But Ernie Hasse, folks, go find him online. He's like MasterCard everywhere you want to be over there on the internet, the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, he is, and of course the website, which has all the concert show information and shows into 2024. So, good sir, it has been a pleasure as always chatting with you.
It's been a pleasure, Ben. Thank you so much.
Keep on keeping on, baby.
That's right. Nailed it.
I tried.